3, 2, 1.
Here we go! Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria, and I'm going to be your host for today. Essentially, like the title says now, we're going to be talking about certain loan myths and misconceptions that we have today. And I have two beautiful guests with me, a beautiful lady by my left and a very handsome man by my right. So I'll, yield it over to them for them to introduce themselves and tell us what they do at Credit Direct. So let's get started. Ladies first. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Shiva Umuna. I'm a product portfolio manager for the personal loans business here at Credit Direct.
Hello, my name is Diko. I'm a product manager at Credit Direct, so I help with building products.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, they introduced themselves, so I might as well do the same. My name is Victoria Arinze, and I work as a product marketing executive at Credit Direct. We will just jump right into it, right? And the very first myth I have here today is if you take a loan, it means that you are poor. And that's a very interesting angle, and I would love to hear what Dikbo has to say about that, because I have a thought, but I'd love to hear what he says. So
yeah, I mean, definitely a myth that is very untrue, and maybe number one reason is that the most developed countries, right, many of the countries that Nigerians like to jump at, they are built on a credit system for both their businesses and individuals. The biggest guys, even in Africa, that we look up to, the Dangotes, the $10, their businesses ride on credit, right? The only reason Dangote is able to build a refinery that big, right, is because their bank supporting him with credit. So
Yeah,
that's
true.
definitely not true. The richest people probably take more loans than poor people.
Yeah, Shiva, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so Deepa's pretty much said, almost everything. It's not true. And the truth is, no man is an island, right? We all need support from time to time.
Yeah.
So there's really no shame in taking a loan if you need it at that point in time.
So essentially, what we are saying is, if you take a loan, it doesn't mean you are poor.
Yep.
Okay, so that's one myth that we've demystified, okay?
Or maybe the reason you're even poor is because you're not taking a loan.
Another angle.
Another angle, right? So essentially, if anyone says that you are poor simply because you are taking a loan, we are here to tell you that that is not the case, right? And as he has said, a lot of the wealthy people that we see today probably, utilize loans to fund whatever it is that they have going on, whether, by virtue of setting up new businesses or just even improving the ones that they have. So please, that is a wrong, and the takeaway from here is you are not poor if you are taking a loan.
Yep.
So now let's move on to the second thing, right? The second myth I have here, is a very, very, very interesting one. It says that if you are taking a loan, it means that you have poor financial habits. Let me say that again. The myth I have here says that if you are taking a loan, it means that you have poor financial habits. Shiva, over to you.
Well, that is totally incorrect, right? Taking a loan does not necessarily mean that you have a poor financial habits. Sometimes you just need, like I said earlier, you need support, right? So imagine that you earn a certain amount as salary, and every month you already work around, a particular budget. And then you now saw there's this certification that you've been pursuing, and then you saw that there was some discount on it, and was the discount was gonna expire, say, in like 5 days time. Are you going to wait for your next salary in another month or lose out on that discount just because you don't have access to cash at that point in time, right? So the best thing for you at that point in time might be for you to take a loan and then spread over a period of time. And then that way you still get to live your life the way you've always lived it. You still get to maintain your lifestyle. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, because you've taken a loan, then it means you have poor financial habits. So that's totally incorrect, demystified.
Got it. Because do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so people usually say that right from when I started working and when I started earning money, people usually force down, especially in this environment, they usually force down a savings habit on people. Like, oh, no matter what, save, just save something, save. And I've always had the mindset that our first problem as Africans is that we don't even earn enough for the work that we do. It's not that you are not, do you get it? It's not like, because a lot of you carry that guilt that, oh, maybe I'm taking a loan because I'm not able to manage what I have. Sometimes it's just that you don't earn enough. There used to be one formula that they would say that your rent, wherever you stay, should be 2 months of your salary. That if you are spending more than 2 months, and I can remember
checked the cost of living in Lagos.
Job, because you probably can only get an apartment under the bridge, especially with an entry level job in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So for my first job, I realized I was spending way more. I was spending my 4 months, 5 months salary because I had to stay somewhere close to work. Right.
Yeah.
And if you choose to go and stay far from work, you probably spend that on transportation eventually.
Yeah,
so it's not really smart. So I just want to say that it's fine for you to take a loan for some things sometimes, especially because a lot of young people in Africa as well need to do like side businesses in order to make ends meet, because your 9 to 5 might not be able to pay. So if you need to take a small loan, you've done your business plan and you think that this business can return more than what you're putting in, why not take a loan and start the business and earn more so that you can save more? So again, there's just to let people know that, look, people need help, and you'll be shocked that the richest guys, they take loans in billions of dollars and banks give them. So don't carry that guilt. Don't always feel the need to save even when you're barely eating. Right? If you need help and you can access loans, then just take them. Doesn't mean you are irresponsible.
Yeah. Because what you just said reminded me of something, right? I think that sometimes I said it's somebody that has finished eating that has money to save or has money to invest. So if you've not even finished eating, how do you get to do all of that? Yeah, I think you made a very valid point. And even Shiba too, just with the whole idea of the way the economy is, right? Yeah. And the resources you have are so limited that sometimes taking a loan to fix something doesn't really tell the full picture of your financial, story. So those are very, very valid points.
And just to draw like a very practical picture. So I think about 2 years ago, about 18 months ago, I needed to. So at that time, it wasn't a need. I had a friend that was relocating, and she was letting go of like appliances in her house, and she sold me a 2.5 kVA inverter. I think at that time I bought it for like 500k.
Wow.
And like it had 2 batteries. She even replaced the batteries for me. So they were new batteries. And then I didn't have the money at that time, sincerely, because it was sudden. And then I had to take a loan from somebody to say, please, let me quickly buy that. Now that same inverter that I bought for 500k is probably going for about 3 million now. So would you say that I was irresponsible at that time, or would you say that I'm smart now if you're looking at the cost of inverters now? So again, loans can help you do more than just even procure items. It helps you lock down the price, the current value, because we know that things are skyrocketing now. So please don't feel irresponsible. Take the loan.
What he said.
For the right reasons.
Valid, what they said, essentially. Okay, so those are two. We've spoken about two now, right? The first one saying that if you take a loan, it means that you're poor, and we've of course given our different perspectives to it. We've also said that taking a loan does not mean that you have poor financial habits. So hopefully, at least that gives you a little bit of comfort generally. The third bit that we'll talk about is this one says, if you are taking a loan, it means that you are in dire financial need. Essentially, it means that your landlord is about to throw you out of the house. It's only on those extreme situations that you should even think of, getting a loan. Maybe you are about to start living under the bridge. So, what I want to ask is it only, when it gets to that type of desperation, right? Is that the only time to consider loans, right? What do you think about that?
So I don't think it's only in in need of, in times of emergencies and stuff, that you get consider loans, right? So imagine that, like Deepa said earlier, right? You want to lock in the value at that time, and just look at what we have currently today. Look at the value of naira as compared to the dollar and all of that, and imagine that you were earning in dollars.
Yeah.
You would gladly take a loan, right? And just to like hedge funds against inflation, right? So you would gladly take a loan just to, it's better for you to even take a loan at that point in time. Because if you say you want to liquidate your FX and then you don't start spending in naira and all of that, you'll be losing a lot more, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be in times of, emergencies that you have to take a loan.
Okay. Very valid. Very valid. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, same. You don't have to wait till you're almost dead before you take a loan. I think at that point, even the loan officers, the professionals can tell that you're desperate. And they can tell that this person doesn't necessarily have a repayment plan.
True.
So before you take a loan, I think the first question is to ask yourself, can I repay? And then what is the source of repayment? So for example, if you were going to take a loan to buy a car and you've never taken a loan before, and maybe your salary, your a monthly repayment spreading out over 12 months, your salary will help you take care of that repayment. Fine. If you take a loan for a business, which I usually don't advise because it's unnecessary pressure, right? Because again, this environment, you can't, even if you have like the best business plan, the country can change your plans.
Nigeria can happen to you.
Yeah, so I always advise that people take from family and friends. But if you've tested the business idea, it gave you some returns, you can measure. And for example, you made 60%, right? And the bank is saying, if I can give you extra cash and you need to pay me back only 20%, then you can take a loan, right? In short, I wouldn't recommend that anybody takes a loan when they're desperate, because then you would definitely not have a plan to repay that loan, and you will only come back with a lot of baggage.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, when people are desperate, they make very poor financial decisions, basically.
Yeah.
So don't wait till you're desperate before you decide to take a loan.
Yeah, and even to lay on top of that, I think just speaking on the desperation side of things, you also become, like easier to sort of manipulate,
Yes.
right? So we have a lot of people that are posing as what they are not, right? Different scam companies that say, "Oh, we'll give you this, give us 10,000, we'll give you 100,000." All those type of situations, those things are not normal, right? For example, credit will never do anything of the sort. However, people become prone to those type of things when they can just tell that you do anything to get this money. So that's definitely something.
And then you would also accept any loan term. At that point, you're not coming enough to weigh the interest rate. So it's 15% monthly, no problem.
Just bring the money.
So I think it's not. I wouldn't advise. Like Shiva said, don't take a loan when you're desperate. Right.
100%. Okay, that's the third one. We're moving quite fast though. Okay. That's very good. So I'm sure. So moving on. Okay, this one is a bit personal for me, because when I was growing up, right, there used to be this thing around when people collect loans. There's this picture of one big mighty person coming to carry your property at the end of the day, just because it seemed like people never used to pay up, right? Now, obviously, at Credit Direct, we know that we do not collect collaterals before we give you loans. But trust me when I say that a lot of people still have that misconception. And I think even some credit companies, I guess, still require that, right? But what do you have to say to people who believe that for you to collect a loan today, you need to put in your house or your car or your something, for that? What do you have to say to that? Maybe Diko, let's hear your thoughts.
Okay, well, first, at Credit Direct, we don't ask for such. So if you ever met somebody posing as a Credit Direct agent, and they tell you to bring your car, tell you to bring your house, then you definitely know that it's not us. We don't collect collateral. But I know that there are, for example, commercial banks that would ask you for collateral because of maybe the size of the loan. If you're taking loans in like the 7 figures, they'll probably ask you for collateral. And again, I think it also boils down eventually to having a plan to repay. So, very funny story. Some 3 years ago, I had a friend call me, and it's like, "Oh, I think then I wasn't at Credit Direct yet. So I was working at the commercial bank then, and I was like, "Oh, now would you guys give me a loan of so amount?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, now we'll give you. All you need to do is meet the requirements." And it's like, he doesn't plan to pay back.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I'm sorry, what?
Yep. I was like, oh, does he plan to pay back that he has a land? He owns a property in, I think it was in Abuja. He owns a property and he's willing to let go of the property whenever the bank comes to collect. So he said it was going to take him longer to sell it. So he would rather take a quick loan and then when the bank comes to, so like it's still a plan, right? It's still a repayment plan.
That plan is shaky.
But like just always have a plan to repay. If you have gone to a loan company that is not credit direct, right? And they said put down your card documents. If you know that you don't want to lose that card, then you must have another means of paying. Else that card becomes your repayment instrument, right? And when the companies come from, because it's in the contract, right? Whatever you have put down is what they will collect, right? But our credit direct, just to be clear on the fact that we don't do that.
True. Yeah. Correct.
Very, but I think something I picked up from what you said, which is very important for everyone to take note of, is that, of course, it's dependent on the size
of the loan,
right? Yes. And different organizations have their different requirements.
Try as much as possible to live within your means. Try as much as possible to plan properly. If you are taking a loan, the first thing is, how do you plan on paying back? And not all just, oh, I'm expecting my brother in Canada to send me money to pay. No, that is not a plan. Please. That is not a plan. Your brother can change his mind. Yes, you'll be amazed at things people say. People say, oh, I want a loan. And you're like, oh, okay, so what do you do? No source of income. Okay, so if you take a loan, how do you plan on paying back? My brother is supposed to send me money by, and I'm wondering, so what if your brother changes his mind that he's not sending you money? How do you plan to pay, right? So that's when you have people falling into all sorts of embarrassing situations where you come and you start posting their pictures all over the place, which is quite unethical anyway, but please avoid it, avoid the drama. Try as much as possible, plan properly before you take a loan.
Okay, thank you so much. Just to reiterate what you said, it is very important to plan properly, right? Irrespective of whatever amount you're taking, always have nothing is 100% guaranteed anyways, but at least it needs to be solid. It cannot be shaky. Again, like she said, depending on your brother in Canada, you never can tell how much tax the brother may pay the next month, and then your money probably will not come out. So it's very important that we are
and maybe also have a plan, like have a plan A and
valid.
Because again, when we're at, you can say, oh, I plan to pay with my salary, and then the company says the economy is so tough, we're leaving Nigeria, and then there's no salary to pay, right? So aside the salary, do you have family members that trust you that can help you with like short-term funds? Do you have friends that trust you? Do you have friends that can start GoFundMe, like in like extreme cases, right? And again, it's nothing to be shameful about. It's better you are a guy that keeps his word to the company that you signed the contract, right? And you have friends that you don't want to tell your problems to. So always have a plan A and also have a plan B.
And maybe C.
Maybe C. Nigeria.
Wow. The plans keep going forward. Okay. Thank you so much. So if you have been following us, right, essentially what we're talking about today is debunking loan myths. And to put it very simply, it's just what are some misconceptions that you have about loans that are certainly not true, right? Some things, may be valid in some scenarios, in some, maybe a different country, but we're speaking to the Nigerian context, right? And a lot of what we're saying now speaks to the average Nigerian. So hopefully you've been following through and you're able to pick one or two things that you're able to take out of this. Now, we have the last myth, and this is a very, very interesting one. So it says, taking a loan is something to be ashamed of. Let me say that again. The last myth is taking a loan is something to be ashamed of. I'm the host and you are my guest. So let me let you start. So who wants to go first? Anyone?
So they said if you don't get money, hide your face. That's not the case here, please, right? Taking a loan is not something to be ashamed of. I know that. I don't understand this, right? It's just something that was kind of passed on to us. Like we just feel that I'm self-sufficient and I should be able to do everything. But the truth is, they're just human, right? And a lot of things will happen. I mean, 4 years ago, if anyone told me that an Infinix phone would sell for over 200K, I would tell the person to go and sleep and wake up, right? But that's what we have today. So things happen, things that are totally out of your control. Right now, we're experiencing hyperinflation. So things that you ordinarily would have been able to afford before, you probably will not be able to afford them that easily now. Just imagine that you are working and then you work remotely for a company and then your laptop crashes and then you're ashamed because you're saying, I don't have any means of, you can't even work to earn money and then you're even ashamed to take a loan to help your ministry. Like, how are we going to do it now? So please, taking a loan is not something to be ashamed of. Chest it. Say to yourself, I shall not be ashamed of making the right financial decisions for my life.
What she said, I shall not be ashamed of making the right decisions for my life. Thank you so much, Shiba. Dipo, what do you have to say on that?
That's what I mean. I think I would even want to speak to the source of that shame. And I think it is mostly from religious settings. So where many of us growing up in churches, in the really big churches, you hear prayers like, I shall not, you never borrow. We don't borrow back here. We don't, nah.
We lend to nations.
Let's not fight this. It's not a declaration.
If you look at it, right? Many of those churches have probably a wider audience than even your politicians.
True.
Because every other Sunday, there are millions and millions of people that listen to those messages. And it just begins to spread that shame and that stigma that, I shouldn't be caught taking a loan. And if you're ashamed to take a loan, you're probably also ashamed to be wealthy. You're probably ashamed to be a Dangote. Because that is how these guys, and I'm not even, like, if Dangote's business went down today, about maybe 5 or 6 Nigerian banks might go down with it. Might not, because they are that invested. There is no way an African can build the biggest refinery in the world without support. There's no way. That man is literally living on credit, right? So, one, I mean, the shame has been passed to us, but I think it's also important to unlearn and then just take it, because again, we all need help. I think that even the biggest lesson is those of our friends that have traveled. Ask them about how the credit system in the UK works, the credit system in Canada. We have people on Twitter celebrating new houses. They're like, I just moved to Canada in 8 months, I have a new house. They're dangling the key.
Did they dash you?
Exactly.
How?
And then it's credit. And then we who are here, we are celebrating them. But the source of that testimony is credit. It's like, testimony is credit. So if you are scared of credit, if you are ashamed of credit, then you're probably going to be ashamed of ever being wealthy. That's the truth, because there will always be projects that are bigger than you and that people are willing to fund. And then for even some of us that have business ideas and the only reason you've not tried is money. Yeah. We can give you a loan to start up that business.
What he said.
Exactly. And then maybe you're also waiting for the business to blow so that you can now come and say, it was a loan. I don't think you have to wait till then. But it is literally what drives the successes of the biggest businesses and people in the world. So if you want to be that big, you want to be that wealthy, then you have to take a loan. You have to be open to taking credit without shame.
Yeah. So there's definitely nothing to be ashamed of. That's what we're saying, right?
And then speaking about churches, thankfully the church gives out loans to business owners, right? Of course, there are specific requirements that you have to meet, but that just makes you realize that, okay, this is not something to be ashamed of. And it's not big. Exactly.
Because either way, if you don't take a loan, you might hunger might still drive you to hell. So
you know.
You might as well just do it. There's no shame, nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh my God. Okay, you've heard from them directly. They said that there's nothing, as a matter of fact, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, right? A lot of people that we celebrate.
Yes.
Dangote usually has like 4 songs. People just sing about him. But this man is a walking loan.
So this you just said. Now, why would they even use our name to sing songs? Like,
I mean,
Victoria, nobody has.
You've not taken a loan. That's why.
Oh my God. Okay, fair point. All right, thank you so much. I think that was very insightful. Of course, very brief, but valuable. I've definitely learned a thing or two just hearing from our different perspectives, right? And I think even in the context of like the corporate environment, again, all of what we're saying doesn't relate to just like business owners and all of that. It also stems to, for example, you might be in a job and you're looking to like improve your qualifications, take better certifications and all that. Like you can also use those because you're investing in yourself. Right, so if you're taking something to take a degree, you're hoping that after you get that, it gives you opportunity to earn more. So at the end of the day, you are again feeding right into yourself. So it's nothing to be ashamed of, right? let us remove the stigma around loans and again celebrate other people and let us also celebrate ourselves
Yes,
in
please.
that situation openly too. So we've actually touched on 5 things. You guys, like in such a short time. Yes, 5 different myths, and we are gradually getting to the end of this. But before we go, I want to just say, just putting it out there. If there's someone somewhere that is considering taking a loan today, what advice? I mean, we've spoken about how you need to have plans to return the money and other things, but off the top of your head, is there anything else that comes to mind that you would like to, maybe add to such a person? So, Dipo, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I think staying true to your word is very important, and it cuts across when you take loans from friends. So again, there's that side where people are like, okay, I love this person, I can die for you, but I will not loan you money because I feel like it will ruin the relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, you would have given that person a reason to not trust you in the past. So just if you stay true to your word, if you've, for example, you borrowed 100K from your friend last month, and for some reason you're not able to pay, don't let that person come to you first. Be the first person to go and say, something happened, though. I'll not be able to repay at so time, but this is the plan I'm making to be able to pay you at this time. And I think it should be the same approach when you take loans from companies, because again, there's something called a credit bureau that all your loan records are stored on, and those records are used to give you loans in the future. Like it's something we will check. So if you have told the company, I'll pay you so amount at this time, and you're not able to for any reason, feel free to send a mail or call somebody before the date and say, I'm sorry, can this loan be restructured? Can the payment be reduced? So that your record is not solved. Because that's another issue that many people have. They're taking so many loans from so many loan sharks, and they've defaulted on many loans that they cannot get any new loan. Now that they even need it the most.
Yes.
Right? So stay true to your word. When you take loans from your friends, pay back or explain when you can't. When you take loans from businesses, reach out to them and let them know. We are not monsters, we're not demons. We also understand. We're also going through the same thing that everybody's going through. So I think that people don't also know that part, that you can actually adjust your schedule. Companies are open to it. Like if you can negotiate and say, please reduce the repayment because the money I was expecting is not going to come in anymore. So just stay true to your word.
Thank you very much. That was very insightful. Thank you so much, Dipo. Shiba, over to you.
Yes. So in addition to what Dipo said, I would say this. When you decide to take a loan, please ask as many questions as possible. Ask questions, right? I see people saying, I want to take a loan. And when you start asking them questions, they're like, does it matter? Like, I just want to take a loan. Or you saw someone, okay, how much do you need? And they say things like, I'm not sure. And I'm wondering, you want to take a loan, you don't know how much you need, not even a want, right?
How much can you give them?
That's what you want to do. Like,
oh my goodness. Like we're there. Right? So I'm like, you have to have a proper plan. It's very important, right? And then something else is, even taking loans helps you learn to budget and helps you learn to save, because you now start living within a certain budget so that you can repay your loans. And when you're done paying the loans, it's easier for you to put aside a certain amount of money and say, I can live without this amount of money. So ask as many questions as possible. Ask questions. Here at Very Direct, we're very open to customers asking all the questions in the world, so you are satisfied before you go ahead to say, you know what, I'm entering into this contract with you to take the loan. And so please plan accordingly, ask questions, and like he said, build integrity. Make sure you're someone of integrity and that you build social capital for yourself. Let people be able to say, yes, you can trust this person with money, right? Be that person. Don't be someone that people will see you coming, and when you say, guy, how far? They'll just be telling you, I don't get, because they know you want to borrow.
Oh my God.
Right? Don't be that person, please. Don't be that dude. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Those are very, very helpful insights. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate being here, because again, personally, I've learned some things, right? And I think everyone that is listening at the moment definitely can pick one or two things. So thank you so much. Thank you, Shiba. It was lovely having you. Thank you, Dipo. Thank you, most importantly, to every one of you that listened, to the people who asked questions. I mean, see how we had fun. It was like a conversation, right? So thank you so much. We hope that everyone was able to take out one thing or the other from this. And we definitely will be doing more of this. We'll definitely again follow us on social media. All of the necessary information will be there. So follow us. We are very direct on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere you are. We are there. But in a good, you're not stalking. But there in a good way. So we'll call it a day, and that will be all from us. So bye everyone.
Bye.